Welcome to Now That's Midschool with me, Matt Barton. Forgive the hood, it's fucking freezing in this new cave of mine during winter. So yeah, sorry not sorry. So you may recall about 18 months ago, I said I was going to build a bike using one of the frames in my collection. It was a toss-up between the solid killing machine, Gen 2, or the Gen 1 Metal Burma. Well, the Gen 1 Metal Burma won out basically. So behind us is the finished article. When I set about building this bike, I had in mind a bike that was going to be primarily used as a dirt bike, but that would also be able to handle some moderate street riding, some manuals, gaps, wall rides, that kind of thing. So it's a pegless bike to keep it sort of lightweight, and I've used some fairly lightweight components in different places. So let's give you a tour, shall we? So the Gen 1 Metal Bikes Burma. You may recall I picked up a 250 TRLS about maybe just over a year ago that I was going to use as a parts donor. It had some really good quality bits on it, as well as the frame itself. It had standard forks on it, and I was going to use those, but in the quest to save weight, I decided to look for something else. Not only that, but I was also thinking that the standard forks might have been a little bit heavy for my liking. So after a little bit of searching around, I decided, right, I want some Odyssey 41 thermals and the race forks. So shout out to Rob Vasey for these Gen 1 41 thermal pro racing forks from Odyssey. Super clean set, 10mm slots, really light, certainly compared to the standard forks. So box ticked there. Moving up, we've got the FSA Pig headset. I considered a Chris King headset, but I figured maybe a bit delicate for the street purpose element of this bike. So the FSA Pig headset won out there. Moving up, the S&M Challenger stem, original S&M Challenger stem, which I picked up from the museum. Really good condition, not exactly mint, but really good condition nonetheless. I love the Challenger. I rode the 2015 Challenger stem on my custom standard, on my kink backwards, and my Metal Bikes Journeyman. Absolutely love the Challenger stem, especially being a bit older. Top loader, it's a no-brainer really. And then one of my more recent acquisitions, some S&M slam bars. These are basketball slams, perhaps a little bit early for this particular build, but I know that they ran the basketball slams for 3, maybe 4 years before switching out to the ones that superseded them. So they're going to work for this purpose. I did have some chrome 2-piece strip bars, trimmed, good condition, but they were trimmed slightly. I got it in my head that the slam bars were taller, but in actual fact, they're about the same size as 2-piece strip bars, just slightly different up sweep and back sweep. These items are uncut. Jonathan Sherwood supplied these, absolutely fantastic condition. So yeah, really pleased with those as well. We've got the Tech 77 brake lever up there, and these bar ends are actually Metal Bikes bar ends that I bought new back in the day. You can't sell the metal bikes bar ends anymore. They've been absolutely battered senseless through many, many years and different bike variations that I've had. Banged against walls, dropped against the floor, crashes, of course. Yeah, they're completely unidentifiable now, but yeah, they are metal bikes bar ends. Moving rearwards, what I did keep from the 250 TRLS are the cranks and pedals. So we've got Survivor Profile 180 mils, Shimano DX pedals. So really pleased with those actually. Just a little bit different from like your tenderizers and that kind of thing. That seem to go on a lot of bike. The Q&A episode that I did all those months ago, I think it was Derek Gabbert asked me if there was one part that I wanted back in the day, what was it? Something along those lines anyway, and it was a sharp sprocket. Over here in the UK, you just couldn't get sharp sprockets, just weren't a thing. So I hunted one down, got myself a nice black 40 tooth sharp sprocket, super good condition. So really pleased about that, really pleased. Moving upwards, we've got the Primo single clamp seat post clamp, single bolt seat clamp, should I say. And then above that, we've got the Odyssey intact seat post. Aluminium. I wanted to keep things light. I did initially have a Calin seat post, but I just couldn't quite get the angle on the seat with it. Messed around with the guts a little bit, modifying them, but they gave way in the end. Being aluminium, it soon breaks, splits, tears, whatever. So yeah, Rob Vasey once again coming up with the good stuff for me there. And then above that we've got the GT5 seat. Didn't want a GT6. They're heavy and they're also silly money these days. I had one on my custom standard back in 2016, I want to say. Loved it, but yeah, for this bike, not really what I was looking for. So I do love the profile though of the GT seats, those drop noses, absolutely. Oh yeah. So moving a little bit lower and rearwards, we've got the first Odyssey Evolver brake caliper. Yeah, I like that. I've got it set up pretty sweet, feels really nice at the lever. Very little spring tension. I don't like spring tension on my brakes. So it works really well. I suppose the brake pads are not their best after all this time, but they stop the bike. I wouldn't want to try in a Bubaka or Fufano or something like that on it, but does the job for manuals, shall we say. So yeah. And then to the wheels. So at the front we've got Odyssey Hazard 36 hole 10mm axle. Now these I'm not even sure they were available on their own. I think they came as a wheel set perhaps. I picked this one up off the museum, really clean example in silver, and I just had to have it. I just could not see any anywhere, either sold individually or wheel sets. They just don't seem to exist, certainly not 36 hole. So when that one did crop up, and it was part of a wheel, I asked the guy if he'd be willing to sell the hub alone, and he was like, yeah, I can do that. So, and again, that came from the museum, so really stoked on that. That is built onto a Sun Rhino Light. I would have liked an earlier Rhino example, or a Big City. I had a chrome Big City, but that went in the fire in the middle of 2025 that I'm sure many of you are aware of. So yeah, the search went back into finding another chrome sun rim. In the end, picked that up off 4Down here in the UK. So it's NOS, brand new, not that old in reality, but it looks the part, so it's a winner. And then to the rear, we've got the first Odyssey cassette hub in black, 36 hole, 14mm axle. I think I'm running the 13-tooth cog on it. It's a really quiet wheel, really quiet, and I like that. I'm not about the buzzing and clicking and all that. I like a bit of stealth mode, if you like. It's not that stealthy, but it's a lot quieter than, say, a profile. So that is laced to the other chrome Big City, USA made Big City that I had that didn't go in the fire, thankfully. So that's a nice wheel, I find. We've got the XS Hooker 195 on the rear. Didn't really want to go down the V-Monster route. I had the Hooker tyre from a Gons sort of replica bike build I had in mind a while ago that never materialised. That was NOS, kept hold of it, and I thought, you know what, that's going to do the job. And I do like the hookers. Up front tyre, of course, Primo V-Monster, Dirt Monster, sorry. That again came off the 250 TRLS. So yeah, there we have it. Let me know what you think in the comments, and we'll see you on the next episode. Bye bye for now.